Winning the Rolex Fastnet Race is a dream for many passionate offshore sailors. For Max Klink, the owner and skipper of the 15.85 meters, 52 feet, Swiss entry, Caro, the dream became reality in 2023. Demonstrating the necessary dedication and commitment to contemplate success, at the 50th edition of the legendary 695 nautical mile race, the crew of Caro were deserved victors.
A celebration of exemplary performance and teamwork as a new champion is crowned in the Rolex Fastnet Race. At 2 p.m. in Cherbourg today, the TP52 Caro was announced the overall winner of the Rolex Fastnet Race. The announcement came once it became clear that despite yachts still racing, their time could not be bettered. For Swiss owner Max Klink, the moment was one of immense pride.
I'm very happy, still overwhelmed, I think it needs a bit of time to settle in. Winning the 50th Fastnet is something I will always remember, and be super proud of the guys on the boat.
Very tough race, particularly in the first 8 hours with the front coming over. But our goal was to survive that and then race hard from afterwards. Our goal was to try and win our class and beat all the bigger boats around us and save our time on boats like Warrior 1 and Teaser Machine. The 65s and lucky it got away at the rock, but we worked hard. We had a great run down to the Scillies, and then for the last 180 miles we could see the 65s were slowing, lucky we're slowing, so we got out a few chocolate bars and worked extra hard. The owners who are passionate for the sport, great preparation, great team, and they're the ingredients that it takes to win a Rolex Fastnet Race.
This is your weekly sailing highlights show, The World on Water, July 28, 2023. The Rolex Fastnet Race is always an examination of determination and endurance. The 50th edition has been no exception. Throughout the largest fleet to ever participate, 430 yachts, crews have faced a variety of conditions from the extreme and arduous to the benign and frustrating.
An examination of determination and endurance, of conquering diverse and challenging conditions. The Rolex Fastnet Race. The competition for honours will continue to unfold, but so too will stories of personal accomplishment. Join us again for more updates from the Rolex Fastnet Race.
We are Sailing Only Media. Please subscribe, share, like, and check the alerts bell. In a repeat of their previous success, the 84-foot Nigel Irons-designed catamaran, Allegra, owned by Adrian Keller, and skillfully skippered by Rob Grimm, has once again triumphed at this year's Rolex Fastnet Race. Proving their unrivaled mettle, they finished with an elapsed time of 2 days, 8 hours, 44 minutes, and 18 seconds, securing a top place in the Mokra class.
It was really special to be out there lining up with this boat against those guys, and I had to remind Adrian afterwards as he was driving off the start what company he was in, and you know, we wanted to represent, we wanted to show what the boat was capable of, and so we put the hammer down from the start line.
It was a great start. Being in that company, if you can come clean over the start line and have your bow in front, feel very good.
We wanted to push hard in those conditions to make a lead that would force the competition to push hard, and hopefully they would make a mistake. Coming down to the sillies, we were hitting 32 knots, and it was hammers down, and we were just trying to stretch all the way out on Tosca. In those conditions, this boat's the fast boat. When it gets lighter, that boat's fast, and we knew it, so we just tried to get as big a lead as we could.
I was praying for this lady. It was very rough. It was very rough and tough, and in a way, it all came good, and in the end we had to sit out about 8 hours in almost no wind and the wave closer and closer. That was almost harder.
Well, I agree.
In a way, yeah.
The worst
but in the end there was the wind coming up, and we had a wonderful ride into the harbor.
After a 2-year hiatus, a brand new boat, and with her husband competing in the same race, Clarisse Kramer is a prime example of how to balance family and professional life. Securing a 6th place for her team at this edition of the Rolex Fastnet Race, she continues to inspire.
On est vraiment hyper contents. C'était un peu inespéré de réussir à faire une belle course comme ça quand on n'avait fait qu'une seule navigation d'entraînement. Donc moi c'est ma première course depuis 2 ans. Et je suis vraiment super contente. Enfin, j'étais un peu stressée avant le départ forcément parce que j'ai encore plein de choses à prouver sur ce bateau. Mais là en plus avec Alan on s'est trop bien entendu, donc vraiment un super boulot fait par l'équipe pour que le bateau soit prêt. Enfin, tout parfait. On est vraiment hyper contents.
The Emirates Team New Zealand team has been stepping AC-75 masts since their first boat was launched on September 4, 2019. So over the years, they become quite proficient at it.
The mighty rig department is myself and Ludo. I am in charge of the composite side of the rig, and Ludo does the running rigging. Typical day out on the water for us starts with our morning checks, pre-roll checks.
That might be something that's always there.
We get our rig ready to roll out the door, sign it off. There's a rollout time, and we stick to that schedule pretty tight. There's definite assistance. There's assistance with tag lines and butt trolleys and setting up for cranes. The bulk of the shore crew, we all get together and we all stick together on that front.
As soon as we roll out, it's my responsibility to get the mast inside the boat. We have a team, I think it's about 10 that help us get the rig in the boat, pinning off stays, getting the forestay connected, then hand it over once the rig's been stepped into Spencer's care, and Spencer runs the lift program into the water.
Yeah, hold, take up a little bit, Dan. Yeah, hold that.
And once we're in the water, I then go up the mast. I put the wind speed wand in the top and then get the rig ready to go sailing, so out of a stepping mode into a sailing mode. And once I come down, make sure the boat's ready to go sailing and untie the dock lines, and away she goes. A good day for us is the guys having a good productive day on the water, the boat coming home and all the soft rigging coming home in one piece. we'll check over the entire rig, make sure nothing has chafed out anywhere or touched where it shouldn't have.
Goes through its post-sale checklist, and that's in the region of an hour and a half or so of checks. Always good to have it back in one piece. There's always a little something to do that you might want to tweak and work on. Hopefully at the end of all that we sign it off as good to go for the next day.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what day it is now of stepping this mast in the boat. Obviously been here last campaign, we did it X amount of days, so yeah, we're tallying the days up, so we're getting pretty good at putting this mast in now of the boat.
Galliana with Secure, the 1970 Swan 55 yawl, skippered by Tapio Lehtinen, was dismasted at 22:30 local time on Saturday, the 15th of July. The main mast fell down, at the lowest spreaders, during heavy weather southeast of Portland Bill. Tapio's sights are now set on repairing Galliana with Secure, in order to be at the start line of the Ocean Globe race, on the 10th of September 2023.
Okay, here we are, Sunday afternoon, ready for lunch with Team Galliana with Secure, as we should be beating towards Fastnet Rock, and the big disappointment you can see behind me, we dismasted Galliana last night after a 12-hour washing machine beat down the Solent and through the needles before Portland Bill. Current was against the wind and the sea's really steep. Coming down one way there was a big crash against the wave, and then the next crash was the mast coming down. It was dark already, past 10 or 11, so the classic shout, all hands on deck, was given. I'm proud of my young team being able to act in an efficient way in this kind of a situation, and some of them were seasick already before the incident because the beat down the Solent was perhaps the toughest beat I have ever had in my life. Washing machine is no exaggeration, it was raining and water flying, but then after losing the rig, the movement of the boat changes, and most of the people were seasick but still capable of systematic action, and we were divided into 3 teams. And I'm very happy that the mast came down at the level of first spreaders. This is the swage wire ending which has broken. With the team we were able to pull the mast out of the water. It was hanging on the side there with the whole mainsail. I'm an old school sailor, so one important thing today was that when we came back through Solent and past Royal Yacht Squadron, we fired a shot outside the castle to tell them that we are back in town, safe and sound. And I've been telling my team that in 1985 Simon Le Bon used Fastnet Race also as a dress rehearsal or shakedown race for the Whitbread race, and instead of losing mast he lost the keel and the boat went upside down, and still they made it to the starting line, and so will we.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli showed blistering pace before a slow-motion capsize in Cagliari, whilst Emirates Team New Zealand enjoyed a full-on testing session in a building, testing sea state out in Barcelona. The 37th America's Cup will be defended in Barcelona by 4-time America's Cup winner, the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron represented by their team, Emirates Team New Zealand.
We went into a slow speed capsize. With these boats are really hard to handle when they're not foiling or moving with a certain speed, and we just got stuck in irons and capsized.
It's a really good day out there. Anywhere between 10 and 17 knots of wind, maybe 18 knots.
We're here with Andrea Tese, flight controller on board Luna Rossa. Andrea, looked like a solid 25 minutes of solid foiling session. Can you break down the day for us?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a strong wind session today from the north, so flat water and a strong puffy breeze. Was expected to pick up later in the afternoon, but then it got really strong pretty quickly, so we were forced to end our session earlier than expected.
Just when about to stop, you guys had a low boat speed capsize. Can you run us through that?
Yeah, we went into a slow speed capsize. With these boats are really hard to handle when they're not foiling or moving with a certain speed, and we just got stuck in irons and capsized with no speed. Classic ski for mott capsize.
And Andrea, any boat speeds recorded above 53 knots today, or are you still stuck with that?
We hit some big boat speed numbers. Obviously, the goal of this day was that strong breeze and flat water, so pushing bearaways and high speed for the boat and loading all the structures.
I mean, you've been gone some weeks, especially because sailing in Barcelona with the AC40, some modification on port side and starboard appendages. How do they feel like in terms of handling?
Yeah, the boat now is gone back to a dihedral foil on the port side, so that definitely brings some changes in the handling. Has a shorter boot, so you have less space to fly the boat, so different on that side, but not much else on that note, obviously.
Would you say it's harder to handle than the one flap port side?
I would say it's just depends on the conditions, and every foil has its own sweet spot where it works at its best and other weaker points, so overall they are similar.
We are here with Blair Took, flight controller and trimmer on Emirates Team New Zealand. Blair, can you take us through the day?
Yeah, so first time back into it, started the block for us. A really good day out there. Anywhere between 10 and 17 knots of wind, maybe 18 knots, and a sort of swell or sea state coming from quite far left of the wind. So yeah, challenging day for control, especially when you're just coming straight back, off the plane. But all in all, the team did a great day, and sets us up nicely for this next block.
Today it was the day with the biggest swell, and especially it was in a very different direction to the wind direction. Can you tell us a little bit more how you managed to have a stable boat in those conditions?
Well, I wouldn't say we always had it stable, but that's certainly the goal. No, we've been gearing up for this, with training back in New Zealand. We sailed in the nor'easter breeze back in New Zealand. That's often lined up with the wind, so we don't have a lot of off-axis swell. but we've thought about how we will control it, and really pleased with how the team tackled it today. It was, like I said before, straight off the plane, and being able to control the boat like that in those conditions was pleasing.
Going into the beginning of the day, we saw the J3 coming up for the first time here in Barcelona. Then it had to be dropped, and then when we were sailing, the jib halyard had an issue. It either got broken or it looked more like something got loose and needed to be retied or refixed. Can you give us some more details about that?
Yeah, we had a little mistake at how the jib was connected up to the load cell at the top of the rig, but that'll be a shout for whoever puts their hand up. Was nothing wrong structurally with any of the gear, but just a little mistake. So anyway, that'll be a shout for someone, but no, it was all good. We got that back going, and then obviously changed from the J3 to up another couple of codes. So yeah, we went breeze built quite quickly there from that 10 knot straight to 15, 18.
Okay. When talking about the crossovers of your sails, yeah, it looks like most of the bigger sails, talking about the front sails, yeah, the front sails, yes, they have a very small wind range, and then you start jumping very quickly into the smaller sails. Is it like that?
I think we're still, we've obviously sailed this boat quite a lot now. The configuration changed from the last cup, obviously, with the no backstays. So we're still learning exactly where the crossover is. So we don't mind changing back and forth a little bit to try and see. But yeah, for sure, like any, I guess, high performance boat, there's that peaky period around max power, which is quite hard. You're trying to get the most out of the boat, and from there quickly the boats start to accelerate, and you're chopping down codes. But the seastat obviously adds another factor into that, so that you're working into just how much power you need with the seastat around.
Okay, thank you very much, and welcome back.
Thank you.
With strong winds, the first race of this year's 26th Rodos Cup started from Kos to Kalymnos. The wind reached 25 knots, testing the boats and crews. The race was quite fast, allowing the crews to relax on the beautiful and hospitable island of Kalymnos and prepare for the next race.
Είμαστε φιλοξενούμενοι για 26η χρονιά. Είναι και το τυχερό μας γούρι να ξεκινάμε από εδώ πάντα γεμάτοι και να έχουμε έναν αγώνα διεθνή με όλες τις προδιαγραφές από αυτούς τους μοναδικούς που γίνονται στην Ελλάδα αλλά και στη Μεσόγειο.
Σήμερα είναι η πρώτη μέρα και παίρνουμε μέρος γιατί έχουμε 50 φιλοξενούμενα σκάφη από το εξωτερικό. Είναι ο μεγαλύτερος διεθνής αγώνας που γίνεται στα Δωδεκάνησα.